Great. All right, guys, we're live. Welcome back to Did You Know with Eric Hatch. We got two wonderful, great guests today. So hopefully that you guys can see us live. We're talking about homeschool, and I know the whole nation is got into kind of on homeschool. Some of us by choice, some of us not. But Brandilyn Davidson and Justine Young are joining us today. So thank you. Wonderful moms with have done homeschool for quite some time, and so I just wanted to introduce them. And so Brandon, why don't you go ahead and go first and share a little bit about you and what you guys do and how many kids you guys have and stuff.
Yeah, my name's Brandilyn Davidson, and I have 4 kiddos, ages 6, 8, 12, and 15. And I've done a whole variety of different schooling options. We've done all homeschool, we've done all public, and everything in between. And currently my oldest is going to public high school, and the rest we're doing a hybrid homeschool program that we love. Yeah, that's kind of the gist of that.
Okay, and Justine, tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, so I am a mom of 5 3/4, soon to be 6 in a week or two.
Congratulations.
I homeschool my 3 older ones, and I've been homeschooling for, let's see, how old is my oldest? He's almost 10, so I've been homeschooling since he started kindergarten. Me, myself, growing up, I did everything from public school to homeschool to private school. So I'm kind of familiar with all of it.
Yeah. So what, I know that I see these fun experiences with people on Facebook and posting things about their children. One of my favorites is that if you see my child outside on the porch with the door locked, don't just mind your own business, that we are practicing a fire drill. If you've seen that one.
Yes.
So they are, and I think the one that I liked the very first day was funny. It was said something to the nature of like, oh, first day of school, one's been expelled and one's been suspended. So what type of advice that you can give parents and the people that are immediately just kind of thrown into this experience when we're bringing we're going to school with our kids, and our kids are going to school with us in the stay and play. So what things do you guys have, or what would you like to add to that?
Brandilyn, do you want to start?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Well, I love the analogy that they give you when you're flying on the airplane and they say, put your oxygen mask on first before helping other people. I think this absolutely applies here. You know, we as adults and parents we're going through a lot too. We have, anxieties and fears. And so I think it's so crucial that we are taking care of ourselves. Maybe we need alone time. Maybe you need time outside. Maybe you need to be working with a professional for help. So that's one thing that I think is huge is, like just making sure that you're taking care of you so that you can show up for your kids the way you'd like to.
And we'll ask this question too. Do you have like a set time? Is there a better time for how you guys develop that, and maybe a structure that you guys have? But Justine, go ahead.
So for our family, it really does work best to treat it like traditional school. We get up, we get dressed, we have breakfast, and we try to start school at 9. And then we try to be done by lunch, and then we have the rest of the day. My kids do not do very well if I'm a little more lax in the morning. And then I try to buckle down and do schoolwork in the afternoons. They're already in the mind, probably because they're younger, but they're already in the mindset of, no, I want to play, I want to do this. And it just ends up being a lot more stressful for everyone, but especially for me, trying to get them to sit down to do their work. So we try to treat it like a traditional school day, except much shorter.
Yeah. So if you guys are just joining us, welcome back to Did You Know with Eric Hatch. We've got 2 wonderful guests here talking about homeschooling and programs on that. Feel free. It sounds like that. It looks like that I'll be able to take any questions right there. So if you have a question, feel free and go ahead and put that in the chat, Mark, for these 2 wonderful ladies. So I love that because it's interesting as we're staying in place that we feel like we're maybe sleeping in a little bit more because there's no place to really go. So I know that structure is really important. So what type of things do you guys have? I know in the public schools, from people I'm telling, and maybe Brandilyn, you can share with your high school student of the programs and the things that they're bringing home. Are we getting enough paperwork and enough stuff from the local schools right now?
I think that's something like I know a lot of people worry about. And I think you mentioned this, Justine. I watched your little blip on was it Fox 40?
Yeah.
So good. But it's like when you're used to having a classroom with 20, 30, or even like my daughter's PE class has like 50 kids in it, I think.
Oh,
so
Lord.
yeah, so that just the time required to, get everyone on the same page of the book or whatever, that takes a lot of time. So really, when you're working one-on-one, or your child is just working on something consistently, you can get so much done in a short amount of time. And I also think that this is not a normal time, and everyone's going to be okay. And really, the most important thing is that let's take advantage of this time and be able to look back and realize that we spent time together and we had fun and we laughed, and like if they don't get all their work done, it's okay. They're gonna be fine.
Yeah, we're all in the same boat. It's not like it's just your family and your kids and they're gonna fall behind, because we're all doing the same thing right now. But I love what you said about having fun with it, because this homeschooling is a great opportunity to have fun with it. Like, you have a math lesson, get in the kitchen and do some measurements and make something with your kids. Or you have a science lesson, like actually go outside in the backyard. I know you guys love to spend a ton of time outside doing stuff outside. Like, you can really take advantage of being outside of the classroom and all the great resources you have in your home to have a lot of fun with your schooling day.
Yeah.
No,
And
I love that. Yeah.
It's a great time to teach life lessons.
Yeah.
It is. And that was something that some of you may know or not know, that my two first children, they went to the public schools. And then my wife, one day out of the blue, just said, my kids, when those two graduated, and she was so like, she could just see the writing on the wall that as soon as the first two were gone, there was three left. And she just felt like I wanted to spend more time with them. So we went ahead and went into the homeschool realm. And I remember she told me that when she told me we were thinking about doing that, I was just kind of like a ghost. I was like, are you sure? Are kids going to turn out okay? Is this going to work for them? And it's been the most wonderful thing to actually go and drive down to Southern California, come up. And I think we went to 13 or 14 missions and did the missions trip during that, and actually experienced and got out versus sitting in the classroom. So there was so much more that we were able to do. And I know we call it homework. What we call it plane work and car work is what we do too. So as you're traveling to different places, which is great. So it's fun. So what other, share a little bit about maybe curriculum. Is there a set curriculum that you guys like to use? Is there something that how did you kind of discover what you kind of wanted to teach your children?
You want to go?
Oh, okay. I mean, I obviously try to follow the state standards, but we don't, at this point, with my oldest just being in 4th grade, we don't really follow a set curriculum, because I mean, some people might kind of call it unschooling. I just try to take like their interests, again, based on state, the state curricula, the state standards. But I have a lifetime membership to education.com. That's kind of like my go-to. They can do online lessons. They can do like learning games on there and worksheets. So I love to do hands-on and field trip things, but I also, again, because they're younger, I really do rely on worksheets a lot as kind of the foundation of what we're doing. And then I build on it with fun activities. So yeah, we don't really follow a set curriculum. We kind of just, I tried that at first, and it was, I just found that for whatever reason, it wasn't working for us. So now I just kind of pull from a lot of online resources or workbooks. I mean, even just when you have like a preschooler or kindergarten, even just the little workbooks you can get from like Costco are fantastic.
Yeah.
So you mentioned something, I know, Justine, on that, about like how do you feel in homeschooling, of like, are you worried about your child is going to fall behind? I know that somewhere my math is probably somewhere around maybe a freshman in high school, and that's about all I can cope with. And so I know that there are some learning centers that actually can assist and help when it gets to that type of stuff that you can't. But how do you guys cope with that, and how do you guys share and teach your children on those?
Yeah, you're saying, oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay, what exactly do you mean? You're saying, do I worry, or how do I cope with worrying if
Yeah.
they're going to fall
Is
behind?
there a stress level there that you feel that, hey, you're not going to measure up as the teacher to be able to help them actually pass a grade or get to the level that they need to have in the society?
I mean, totally. I think especially when I first started homeschooling, which I never planned to homeschool. It's something I kind of just fell into, and
Mhm.
so glad that I did. But I think that's something that has eased over time, and just gaining more confidence in um, my ability to, trust myself to be their mother and their teacher.
Mhm.
And then I have relied on, we go to an amazing learning center, Liberty Learning Academy.
Mhm.
You might be familiar, Eric.
Yes. Mhm.
So that's really nice as far as taking some of the actual teaching burden off of me. And
Mhm.
then, it's been kind of, I guess maybe validating or exciting to see, my daughter has been homeschooled up until her freshman year of high school, and she went to a public high school, and she's thriving both academically and socially. So I feel like
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, this is working. So I think obviously it's not for everybody, but that's what was worked for us. And I think just trusting your abilities as a parent, and really it doesn't really take that much. It's like reading together and doing art, and like you said, getting outside. Kids, they don't need hours and hours of work
Mhm.
to be able to understand certain concepts.
Hmm.
Yeah. No, that's good. I know that that's a good point where you said, hey, this is there's every child is different. You guys have many kids. I have many kids too, and they're each learning. The way they learn is completely different, and I know that what I've been really enjoyed in our home is that my wife's learned a lot. She's gone back because she's going in and she's teaching these certain history classes, and then I see her for 2 hours prepping the history class and getting that all ready, and then presents that to the kids. And I thought it was really fun that she would, for high school, that she would have other children in the same programs come over to our house, and then she'd be teaching 3 to 4 to 5. So it doesn't feel like you're all on your own. You're on your bubble. You have these other resources like Liberty Learning in different places and things, and there's so much online support. So that's great. So one last thing before we finish is that here you have some moms and dads that are teaching their children right now, and when the COVID-19 kind of blows over and finishes its course, and then they might decide to do homeschool. They might choose to. So where would you, both of you, on closing comments of think and let them know of how do you start?
Do you want me to go, or you want to go ahead?
Go ahead.
Okay, well, I think first of all, there are two different options as far as homeschooling. You can be publicly funded with a charter school, and you can completely homeschool within that charter school. So that's one route to go. So exploring charter schools, which means that you actually get public funds to buy curriculum and do different school activities. Or you can completely homeschool, which I believe in the state of California, it's like you are your own school essentially.
You can apply for it or whatever. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
So kind of determining that. And then there's the options are endless, but I think it's really, like you mentioned, Justine, you tried doing this set curriculum in the beginning. It's trial and error, just like everything else in life.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Justine,
Finding what
go ahead.
I like Brandilyn mentioned, you can go the charter route or you can kind of do your own thing. Personally, my feeling is if you're brand new to homeschooling, I would research and go the charter route, because I know several parents who were like, yeah, I had planned to homeschool and I bought all the stuff and I just got really overwhelmed. And I think when you have a charter to kind of help guide you, and you get your funds from them, so you're not spending all your own money on all this stuff for school. Um, and and they kind of tell you where you're supposed to be, and you meet with them periodically to make sure that everything's going the way it's supposed to be. It is a lot more, you're able to be really sure of yourself a lot sooner when you have that guidance. So I would definitely recommend researching different charter schools that you could align yourself with.
And then also finding people like you guys that there's a support group. I know that every year in Liberty Learning that they get together with the moms, all or the dads get together and say, okay, who's got questions? And then they're like, we all have questions. So it is kind of fun and new, and seeing the faces of where you guys went 10, 12 years ago and you're teaching to the children, to where the first year of that. But I love that because there's all sorts of the support staff. So thank you so much, you guys, for being here. Appreciate it. Stay safe, and thank you very much, and have a wonderful day. Okay.
You
Thank
too.
you.
All right, thanks, guys. Take care. Thanks, guys, so much for participating and watching Did You Know with Eric Hatch, and stay tuned for the next episode. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.